The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
Good evening. This is Saturday's news. Thanks for joining us. In this edition, less action taken to address grey list. Police issue eviction advice for Tete and wildlife, and Norman Akunai debuts for Hunters tomorrow. Transparency International PNG says despite state officials providing reassurances to the nation, PNG is not doing enough to respond to the recent grey listing by the Financial Action Task Force. It is calling for relevant bodies to do a quarterly publication of progress reports against the effective benchmarks going forward.
TIPNG's view is that grey listing signals that the international community no longer trusts PNG's ability to stop criminals from hiding or moving dirty money. In a statement, TIPNG says PNG can only address these concerns when the police and courts act to end the culture of impunity for those breaking the anti-money laundering law. Chairman of Transparency International, Peter Heitzi, said, "The greatest barrier in PNG securing its financial system is failure by the state to successfully prosecute lawbreakers." Describing laundered money as dirty money, Heitzi added that when people moving this kind of monies are not prosecuted, it undermines the country's entire system of accountability. He says the only way to leave the grey listing is for collaboration between agencies and the successful enforcement of PNG's anti-money laundering laws, pointing that failure to do so can result in the economy facing serious and lasting damage. Citing the recent ruling by the Supreme Court in the Yafai case, he highlighted how this case speaks to the interagency challenges in prosecution that need to be overcome and appropriate lessons in prosecution need to be learned as quickly as possible if PNG is to make meaningful progress in its anti-money laundering efforts. Mr. Heitzi says the public deserves to be informed about which of the 23 agencies are performing and which are lagging. Ruth Rungula, TV1 News.
The Commissioner of Police, David Manning, has called on financial institutions to do their part in exposing the corrupt movement of money and to report suspicious activity to the Asset Restraint and Recovery Working Group, or ARO. Speaking to executives of 8 commercial banks in Papua New Guinea, Commissioner of Police David Manning said, exiting the Financial Action Task Force or FATF grey list requires every bank and their staff doing their part to expose corruption.
As work to implement the recommendations of the Financial Action Task Force progresses, Police Commissioner David Manning called on the banks to be vigilant by flagging suspicious transactions and reporting them to police. He said the effectiveness of the financial system to counter money laundering can only be determined if these flagged transactions are found to be legitimate. He also warned that the failure by banks to exercise effective scrutiny over banking business in a timely manner is a failure to meet legislated due diligence requirements. Manning said when transaction scrutiny is done right at the banks, it contributes to lifting PNG out of the grey list and strengthens the integrity of the country's financial systems. The Commission also spelled out the work of the Asset Restraint and Recovery Working Group, or ARO. ARO, with its founding members, the BPNG Financial Analysis and Supervision Unit, the Police and Office of the Public Prosecutor, are working hard to deliver positive results. He said core to this is to assess contemporary suspicious matter reports, or SMRs, from the financial regulator and financial institutions. and to be effective in identifying and targeting financial crime, these reports must be made urgently and without delay by financial institutions. If the intelligence raises reasonable suspicion of unexplained wealth and or proceeds of crime, it is the role of ARO to freeze associated bank accounts, restrain assets, and confiscate the proceeds of crime. Commissioner Manning also revealed that law enforcement agencies are aware that a large proportion of SMRs are related to the misappropriation of government procurements. He said SMRs relating to suspected misappropriation using Bank of PNG checks without sufficient supporting documents are major contributing factors to money laundering in PNG. Manning warned that failure to follow legal process exposes a financial institution to liability for facilitating money laundering, and legal action will be taken if financial institutions fail to meet their legal obligations, adding that ARO will only move in to freeze and restrain suspected funds when it is reported. Meantime, ARO is working closely with stakeholders including Customs, IPA, IRC, Forestry, Fishing and ICAC, and overseas law enforcement partners. Ruth Rungula, TVWAN News.
Prime Minister James Marape told Parliament that the government is committed to progressing the Wafi-Golpu and Papua LNG projects while ensuring that Papua New Guinea secures fair and equitable benefits for its people. He was responding to concerns raised by the member for Bulolo, Sam Basil Jr., about the prolonged delay in these projects.
Member for Bulolo, Sam Basil Jr. sought answers from the Prime Minister about the delay in Wafi-Golpu project situated in his district.
Our people continue to ask the update of the SNT, or State Negotiation Team, on the update on Wafi, and perhaps maybe PNG, Papua and LNG too. So, like for too many talks have been going on the corridors of Waigani and around the country on the kind of a snail pace that we are facing with the SNT.
Prime Minister Marape in response dismissed claims that the government is delaying these projects. Instead emphasized that government is engaging in negotiations that are aimed at securing better outcomes for landowners and the nation. He explained that the government is not seeking additional concessions beyond what is already provided under the Mining Act and Oil and Gas Act, but is determined to fully exercise PNG's sovereign rights under these laws.
Our government is not delaying these two projects. From our front, our policy direction is clear. We want to win 55% total take for Papua New Guinea. So it's up to the investors. State negotiating team has one clear mandate from the, and there is no new ask. We are not asking over and above the laws of our country.
He confirmed that the Papua LNG agreement remains in force and has not changed.
But relating to Papua LNG, agreement was signed already in 2019, before this government came, April 12, 2019. So nothing has stopped. Even the review we asked was agreed early on, and I thank the Honourable Member for Senior Yongumuk. He won additional 5.
For Wafi-Golpu, he explained how the old arrangements would have left PNG with less than what's prescribed by law and said they're working on it. The Prime Minister said despite these projects not reaching AFID yet, PNG economy is doing well through other sectors like agriculture and construction. Ruth Rungula, TVWAN News.
Eviction advice issued for wildlife and Tete. That story and more after the break. Stay with us.
Banking doesn't have to be complicated. With PSB's One Talk Wallet, control your money wherever, whenever. Dial *131#, enter your PIN, select cash in or out, and generate a secure code to withdraw cash. It's the only wallet for cardless ATM withdrawals. Send and receive funds, pay for goods and bills, or withdraw cash with ease. All with BSB's One Talk Wallet. BSB's One Talk Wallet. Money made easy. Dial *131# today.
And
Take me
FM. Grab a Coca-Cola and enjoy the moment.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG e Mia. Prime PNG made.
Show the dishes who's boss. Fight mess with Axion, the tough grease stripper. 100% effective at doing the dirty work. The triple active power breaks down tough grease, and its antibacterial formula leaves dishes squeaky clean. Get tough on grease. Get Axion.
Welcome back. War Warrior MP and member of the Permanent Parliamentary Committee on Communication, Mas Nariwek, yesterday presented to the Parliament the findings of the 2025 inquiry into journalism standards and integrity. The inquiry revealed that journalism standards in Papua New Guinea required improved training and professional development, opportunities to strengthen media practice and curb the growing spread of misinformation, particularly on social media platforms that increasingly compete with mainstream newsroom.
Reporting increasingly threatens the credibility of information available to our people. False information can spread rapidly across communities, creating confusion, damaging reputations, inflaming tensions, and undermining trust in institutions. At the same time, journalists themselves face. Many journalists reported intimidation, harassment, online abuse, particularly when covering sensitive political or public interest issues. In some cases, safety concerns and professional pressures discouraging independent reporting. These challenges highlight the importance of protecting both the safety and the editorial independence of journalists so they can carry out their work freely.
People residing at Tete Settlement in the Mosby Northwest Electorate and Erima Wildlife Area in the Mosby Northeast have been advised to start moving out before eviction takes place. Eviction will be carried out using existing eviction orders of 2018 and 2019.
Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police for NCD and Central, Chief Superintendent Benjamin Turi says settlers have been advised before and are fully aware of these eviction orders to ensure they're not caught off guard. Turi urged residents of these locations to start planning their exit. For Tete, houses within the front area of the field will be affected, and for wildlife, houses located on the ridge overlooking the golf course will be affected. Turi says the eviction orders of 2018 and 2019 are active as the court battle staged by the settlers to set aside these orders were unsuccessful. While police will conduct awareness before eviction, ACP Turi said his office is in receipt of eviction orders from the court for both Tete and Erima Wildlife. The ACP also took time to remind city residents to ensure they reside on registered land to avoid evictions in future. Ruth Rongola, TV1 News.
For the Taki community in the Kieta district of central Bougainville, accessing clean water was a daily struggle. But a simple letter request has now led to a lifelong supply of clean water through a gravity-fed water supply system.
For the Taki community in Kiata's central Bougainville, clean water meant a long and exhausting journey up the steep mountains for many years. Taki is home to 500 plus people, and the water struggle also affected education. Taki Primary School has a student population of 68 students, and many would go out looking for water, resulting in low attendance numbers. Determined to find a solution, Principal Vincent Lysias wrote a letter requesting help. That request reached World Vision PNG. What followed was a huge community effort to build a gravity-fed water supply system. Materials had to be carried to a site more than 200 meters above sea level. A catchment dam was built and water piped to the storage tanks for distribution. All stakeholders in the project are now satisfied following the completion of the project. The gravity-fed water system established by World Vision WASH program commenced last year. For the people of Taki, water is now no longer a daily struggle but a sign of hope, dignity and a better future. Ruth Rungula, TV1 News.
You are watching TV1 News. I'll be back with the sports news after these messages.
For too long, banking has felt out of reach for many. But now, PSP's One-Took Wallet is here to change that. Send and receive money, pay bills, and top up. It's your money, wherever, whenever. Because at PSP, we are committed to improving how our customers connect to our One-Talks, to our family, to the ones we love. PSP's One-Took Wallet. Money made easy. Dial *131# for everyone.
The PNG LNG project has now generated more than 30 billion kina for Papua New Guinea since production commenced. Nearly half of this amount has been paid as tax. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levies and royalties are paid to DPE.
To school with Colgate and Protex. Win big! Lots of great prizes to win for your school. To enter, use your favorite Colgate and Protex products. Keep all your empty packets, take them to school and give them to your teacher. Visit the Colgate Pacific PNG Facebook page for more info on how to register. Win school supplies, sporting equipment, and more, all for your school with Colgate and Protex. Promotion ends March 31st, 2026.
Central Province is our home.
The tides of the Coral Sea are our heartbeat. From the coast to the mountains.
Traditions pass generation to generation.
The sea and our gardens sustain us.
Our songs carry our legends through time.
Our home is Central Province. Our nation is Papua New Guinea.
In sports, Norman Akunai makes his debut tomorrow when the PNG Hunters takes on Western Clydesdales in round 3 of the Host Plus Cup competition in Toowoomba, Australia.
Norman Akunai was amongst top-performing players for the Port Moresby Vipers in the 2025 Digital ExxonMobil Cup competition and was recognized by being selected to the PNG Hunters. Assistant coach for PNG Hunters, Wes Atenza, said Akunai has been a standout amongst few other new boys in the camp and earns his place in tomorrow's lineup.
We make a change. I think Norman Akunai gonna make his debut this weekend. He's a good player. He's been working hard in the preseason, leading up to the trials. He played pretty well, and we see him as a good player coming off the bench. And this is a time for him. We think it's a good time for him to make his debut. So he's a good team player too. So we thought it'll be okay for him to make his debut this weekend.
Akunai will come off the bench in the number 17 jumper, replacing Hela Wigman strongman Jacob Lott, who has now been placed as the 18th man. Akunai joins Linchul Kiap, Sil Kalo, and Manisa Kai on the bench. The PNG Hunters coach Paul Aiton has so far debuted 4 players since round 1 of the competition, and Akunai is the 5th player to make his debut. Joel Gena, Miles Banham, and Himson Ulalom debuted in round 1 against Central Queensland Capras. Sunday, Bruce Bawase made his debut against Wynnum Manly Seagulls. Tenja spoke highly about the depth of quality players they have in the team. He said they give all their players chances to showcase their talents on the big stage, and Akunai gets his chance this weekend. Tenja noted they have lost the opening 2 matches on home turf, and pressure is mounting on them to get a win. He is confident that the boys will get the job done.
Chief Executive Officer of PNG Sports Foundation, Micah James, has dismissed media reports related to funds for the PNG Unity Games. He said only 40 million kina has been received since 2017. The CEO said they have spent the money already on building sports facilities in Mandi and request for more funding support ahead of the Games this June and July.
The PNG Sports Foundation CEO Micah James has categorically denied media reports about PNG Unity Games funding being misused.
Approximately about 40 million. That's how much we spent in the PNG Games. Infrastructure. I don't know whether the figures in the newspaper.
James was responding to questions surrounding financial support the Sports Foundation had received so far to prepare for this game. James noted that every toya has been accounted for.
We have auditors auditing the book to clarify all these issues as time goes on. But so far, 2017 coming to 2026, money invested into infrastructure is 40 billion.
While the PNG National Sporting Body wants to promote transparency in its work, the project on the ground shows that only 40% of the facilities have been completed. The National and Southern Islands provincial governments have made budget allocations and commitments to the Games last few years, including 100 million kina commitment from the provincial government in January last year 2025. The PNG Sports Foundation CEO said they've only received 40 million kina since 2017 and urged the national government to support them with funding so that they can complete the Games facilities on time ahead of the Unity Games in June and July.
A late goal by South Melbourne FC has shocked a full stadium in Honiara. South Melbourne FC scored in stoppage time to draw 1-1 with home side Solomon Kings FC in the OFC Pro League. The home side were hoping for a win in front of their home fans in the last match of the OFC Pro League Round 4 competition, but ended in a draw to their disappointment.
In Honiara's Solomon Kings lineup that we see here tonight.
A packed national stadium with loud fans showed up to back their home team. Despite losing 5-0 to South Melbourne early this month, the Kings showed confidence in front of their home crowd. The game was played high speed, with both teams creating early chances. Rafael Leahy for the Kings and Jordan Swibel for South Melbourne both went close, but the goalkeepers made strong saves. Just before halftime, the stadium exploded. A corner kick found Javin Way at the back post. He headed the ball into the net to give the Kings a 1-0 lead.
Everybody back for South Melbourne. Comas's delivery high!
The action stayed open in the second half. Leahy and Sota Higa's side both tested the South Melbourne goalkeeper. As time ran out, it looked like the Kings were headed for a famous home win. But deep into stoppage time, disaster struck for the home side. A scramble inside the penalty box ended with Charlie Litz pushing the ball over the line. The goal went to VAR review. After a long check, it was awarded. South Melbourne later lost a player to a red card, but there was no time left for Solomon Kings to respond. The match finished 1-1, a tough result for the home crowd, but an exciting game for fans. Both teams now travel to Fiji for round 5 of the OFC Pro League in April. Michael Tamtipais, TVWAN Sports.
The 8th PNG Unity Games in Mandy's Southern Highlands province is set to be hosted in 3 months' time, but the Games facilities are only 40% complete, raising concerns on whether the Games will be delivered on time or deferred again. Chief Executive Officer of PNG Sports Foundation, Micah James, called for support as the days are counting down for the Mandy Games.
The Chief Executive Officer of the PNG Sports Foundation, Micah James, says they are racing against time to get the facilities ready for the 8th PNG Unity Games, as he provided the updates about the sports facilities on the ground.
We've got 60% yet to complete.
The Unity Games has been deferred multiple times since 2019. With 40% of the sports facility completed, there is a lot of work to be done to have the facilities game ready. James is confident the work can be done in 3 months.
We've delivered the World Cup facility in 9 months. We are not new to infrastructure development for sports. We've done that before.
He said they can only achieve this if the funds are made available, and called on the government to release fundings to complete outstanding work.
I would, at this time, request that Finance and Treasury release the funding so that we can be able to complete the sports facility. And so the onus is on Finance, Treasury and National Planning to release the funds so that the committee can do its job, the contractors can complete the constructions of the sports facilities, and also the Southern Island Provincial Government can get the people of Southern Island ready for this event.
The PNG Unity Games, formerly the PNG Grassroots Games, is a major biannual multi-sports event that brings together athletes from all 22 provinces in the country with the aim to foster national unity, promote peace and identify new sporting talents for the country.
And now the weather forecast. In regional forecast, southern, isolated showers and thunderstorms becoming scattered over Oro and Milimbai province. Mamase, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with areas of rain. New Guinea Islands, scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms with areas of rain. Islands, isolated showers and thunderstorms with few areas of rain. That's been news for this Saturday, 21st March 2026. Pleasant viewing. Bye for now.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by